This is going to go over some of you motherfuckers' heads because you're playing too fucking small in this life. Your mind is going to fail you. That's what I want you to understand. A lot of people think that their mind is actually designed to help them. The truth is, your mind is the reason why you're fucking losing in life right now. Your mind is the thing that's betraying you right now. You don't even realize it. Think about it. Every single time you want to make a change in your life, what happens? The mind starts creating the what-if scenarios, the doubts, the fears, the fear of the unknown, the what-if scenarios, all of it. But if the mind is supposed to help us, if we're supposed to have this crazy mindset, why is it that that same mind is the very reason why we start doubting ourselves? You have to master the mind. Most people, this shit goes over their head. They think like, well, isn't my mind me? Aren't I my mind? No. Think about it. Think about what I literally just said. My mind. My hand. My hands. My body. My mind. If these hands are mine, if this mind is me, who am I? Who is me? If these are my hands, who is my? If this is my mind, who is my? Do you understand that this is a different game when you start really understand what the fuck I'm trying to say to you right now? Your mind is the biggest fucking limiting belief that you're ever going to come across in your life. All of the projections of the world, all of the people who fucking doubt you in your life, all of the times when you were a kid and somebody broke your confidence, when you were going through school and you lacked confidence in yourself because it felt like nobody would accept you, that you were the outcast, that you were the black sheep. All of the times throughout high school where that fucking prom date said no to you. Where maybe you sucked at fucking driving and you couldn't get your driver's license. I don't fucking know. I got my driver's license pretty early. Maybe it was the person that you asked on a date and they said no to you, broke your confidence, shattered you, created doubt, instilled fear of rejection. Maybe your parents projected all their limiting beliefs on money and now you fear money. You believe that money is scarce. You believe that it's hard to make money. You believe that you're not valuable enough to make millions of fucking dollars. The mind is programmed by the outside world. The mind is programmed by external driving forces. And the thing is, your mind is starting to get molded by people, from things, from surroundings, through events, since you were a child. But as a child, you are not aware that this is happening. And by the time you're a fucking adult, you just see everything that's happened to you as truth. But that is not truth. You didn't decide to be this way. I mean, think about it. All your fucking flaws that you have, where you lack confidence in self, where you don't carry yourself to the highest standard, when you hunch over like a ugly fuck because you think that's how you're supposed to fucking stand because nobody taught you. Did you choose to look like that? Did you choose to stand like that? Did you choose to talk like that? This identity, this false armor that you're wearing, was that your choice? Or if you actually take a fucking second to think, oh shit, am I my fucking parents? Every time I ask myself if I'm that fucking guy, do I revert back to the times where I was in high school, where I felt like an outcast? When I think about me being happy, am I thinking about me being happy right now? Or am I going back to when I was 10 years old and parents told me they were getting divorced? What is actually me? Who am I? Do you understand? The mind will betray you. The mind is the thing that you need to master. You are in control. You control your mind the exact way you control your body. Your body does not move on its own, just as your mind does not move on its own. But for some reason, because you cannot touch the mind, you think that you can't control it. But once you master the mind, life changes completely. Your paradigm will be forever changed. You'll never be able to come back to the real world. You're going to realize that the life you experience is the life that you design. here, and here. And inside of you, there's an all-powerful being. And again, this is going to go over some of you motherfuckers' heads because you're playing too fucking small in this life, which is why you settle for the life that you have, not the opportunity that you were fucking given. When you start mastering that everything that you have in your life is everything that you believe you deserve. But what if, instead of believing that you deserve a janky fucking car that you're always worried if it's going to start or break down while you're fucking driving it, instead of believing that you're only worth this corporate 9-to-5 fucking job where you have fat fucks as bosses who don't do shit with their lives and think they can lead you, instead of settling for the fucking life you have where all you have to eat is fucking eggs or tuna and bread because that's all you can fucking afford, or having to worry about what you can afford, even if it's only a couple bucks, how about instead of believing that, instead of identifying as that version of you, you control the mind and you change the way the mind thinks that you deserve the Rolex, that you deserve the Lambo, that you deserve the $1 million house, that you deserve everything. You deserve $1 million business. You deserve the money. You deserve the happiness. You deserve the joy. What if, instead of all the bullshit you've been telling yourself that's been projected onto you that you chose, you're choosing, by the way, to continue to hold on to as self, you chose to let go of that identity. And you started understanding that all of these things that you feel and that you think were all projected onto you. But you choose, unconsciously or consciously, to continue holding to an identity that no longer serves you. The mind will betray you and think that you have no control over this. But the truth is, you do. When you start understanding the power that you hold inside of you, when you start understanding the power that you really have over your life, and that you can change everything in your life, just like that. You could literally wake up tomorrow an entirely different person, but you choose to override logically with the mind. No, Phil, I can't do that. I've been this way my whole life. You're saying I can just fucking switch? I can just shift my identity? I can just be a totally different person? I don't think that's normal, Phil. What is my family going to think of me, Phil? What are my friends like? Are my friends going to be good with me like being the shitbag of a person to like being this high performer that carries himself well? What if my friends like start rejecting? What if my friends make fun of me? If you're so fucking worried about your friends and their judgment, then you don't care enough about yourself. Because who the fuck cares? Are your real friends? Think about it. Are the homies actually that are really your homies? Are they really going to judge you for wanting to better yourself? And if they do, are they really your homies? Family, friends that judge you when you try to be better, do you really want them in your life? Trust me, I cut out all the fucking fat from my life. Doesn't matter if you're blood. Doesn't matter if I've known you my entire fucking life. If you are a negative fuck, you're out of my life. That's what I choose. Because I don't choose to live a life where negative fucks are around me. I love my life. So I will protect my fucking life. And that doesn't mean that I'm lonely. That means that I ride with the right people so I can actually enjoy my life. But Phil, like, what if I can't do it? The mind, do you see the pattern? Every time you want to break through to the next level, what is the belief that the mind projects in front of you that makes you think that that has to be your reality? Oh, Phil, I can't talk on camera. I'm not good on camera. I don't know what to say. What if what I say is not valuable? Well, who the fuck gives a fuck? Why do you care so much about everybody's fucking opinion? Why can't you understand that anything that you need to say is valuable to somebody, to your audience? Oh, Phil, I can't make the power moves because, like, what if it doesn't go my way? What if? Again, what if? But what if it did go your way? What if instead of fueling this negative fear, all of these things in your life that don't actually fucking serve you, you switch that to, well, what if it does work for me? What if my friends actually do judge me and then I realize who my real fucking friends are? What if my family does doubt me and then I realize who's actually had my back? What if I actually could build $1 million business? What if I could actually have the $1 million home? What if I can actually have the Lambo? What if I can actually have the Rolex? What if I can have it all? What if that was your mentality? But you know what? It's so much harder to wear that. Because every day you have to prove to yourself that you can actually get that. See, it's easy to fail. It's easy to just sit back and say, couldn't fucking do it. Didn't work out for me. A lot easy to do that. You don't even have to fucking try. You just have to say. You just have to be a talker. That's all you got to do. But to say, what if I can, requires you to show up. And that's the fucking hard part. That's the part where you really find yourself. You really find out that the mind can say, what if I can? Now I have to show that I can. Not just say it, not just use this body to show that I'm moving, but through the actions that I take with my daily disciplines every day, especially on the days where I don't want to show up. That's where you find you, motherfucker. Do you understand? That's the time where you really understand who the fuck you actually are. Aside from all the bullshit, aside from all the fake praise that you've gotten from your friends and your family all throughout your life, aside from all of the times where you've actually fucking failed in your life, fell flat on your fucking face, and had to decide, are you going to get the fuck back up again? This is the time now where all of that, the good and the bad, out the fucking window, and it's just you versus you, motherfucker. What are you going to do? Every day it's the battle. Every day you get to find yourself again. Every day is a new thing. Something that just drops in front of you that you weren't expecting, and it's going to see God saying, well, what the fuck are you going to do with that? The universe testing you. Well, you said you wanted change. Now I'm going to put this massive fucking boulder in front of you. Are you strong enough for the change? Let's see, motherfucker. Let's see if this takes a day, a week, a month, a year, 10 years. Let's see who breaks down first, this boulder or your belief. Because what's going to happen is that fucking boulder that drops right in front of you or even on top of you is going to weigh so much more than you even can fathom right now. You don't even understand the weight that you're going to have to carry and burden. But the whole point is you become strong enough if you believe. If your belief is that strong, if your conviction is that powerful, you'll realize that, again, just like we can control the mind and the reality, that boulder doesn't even fucking exist. That's just a fucking fear, again, of the weight of the world being on our shoulders. Do you see how fast it switched? The boulder was just an idea of the mind's weakness. But if you choose that there is no boulder, there's literally nothing in front of you, and all you have in front of you is you, step into you, motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. The mind will play games with you. And I hope you realize you will have to master your mind to the point where it no longer fucking controls you like it has your entire fucking life. That you can create everything that you want because you want it. No other fucking reason. No need to explain yourself to anybody else. No need to explain why you fucking want it. I just fucking want this in my life. I want the abundance. I want the things that nobody else has because nobody else is willing to put in the work. I just want it. I deserve it. I'm worth it. Imagine what happens when you allow yourself permission to change who you think you are and every single day forge the person you could be proud to be. Imagine if that was your life. Just understand that mind will play games with you. It will trick you. It will show you things, false truths. And fuck, it's going to get some of you motherfuckers. Some of you motherfuckers are going to get got. It just is what it is. Because you're not playing the game intentionally. You're not actually trying to win. You're saying you are. You're taking a couple steps, but then you play victim again. Oh, it's too fucking hard. Oh, I can't move any faster. Oh, it's going to take me a long time to do all of these things. But what if it didn't? What if you can just choose like that it's done now? You no longer need to try, that it's easy to do. What if? I want to leave you with this. As you leave this, think about all the things you want to accomplish in your life. Everything. Don't hold back. Don't do the stupid shit that these bitch ass coaches tell you to do, which is, hey, have an audacious goal and then have a realistic goal. Dumb. Have an audacious fucking goal, because otherwise, what's the fucking point? What is the life that you want to build? Exactly. Close your eyes. Think about it. Think about what you're wearing, how you dress, how you carry yourself. What's the exotic car that you're driving? What type of watches do you wear? What type of jewelry do you wear? What type of home did you give to your family? What do you do for a living? How much money do you have? How much money do you make? And I want you to just sit with it. And I want you to start thinking about you actually being that version of you. I want you to just sit there with your eyes closed. And I want you to say to yourself, I can be this right now. The moment those words leave your mouth, oh, the mind. Be aware of what the mind starts telling you. Not tomorrow. You can't be that tomorrow, motherfucker. You can't be that today. You're still that same old piece of shit boy. You can't be that today. You think that you can just fucking say you can and you will? Fuck no, you don't got a track record. You can't even prove to yourself that you can fucking show up. You know you can't. Stop doing this dumbass exercise. Open your fucking eyes and understand who the fuck you're not. You're not it, motherfucker. Stop trying. Isn't that what happens in the mind? Whether you say it that way, filtered or not, isn't that what happens? This was a nice little fucking exercise. That made me feel good for a minute. That made me feel good for a second. But I'm going to get back to reality. I'm going to get back to what life actually is. Isn't that what happens to the mind? But what if? Because one of you is going to track. What if you opened your eyes and you just fully believed who the fuck you are? Imagine what that would do, how that would change your decision-making process, how that would change how you wake up, how you went to sleep, how you operated throughout the day. And imagine what happens if you chuck that shit into the future, not just 1 week, not just 1 month, a year from now, fully believing who the fuck you are. See how life will change. And if you actually are the one that listens and does it, I want you to put it in the comments and tell me how your life has changed simply by deciding that you are who the fuck you think you are right fucking now. Number 2, committing to it. Actually committing on a daily basis for the next 365 fucking days that you are who the fuck you say you are. And number 3, make absolutely no excuses as to why you will not succeed in becoming that version of you. I want to know who the one is that actually fucking listens and changes their life. The rest of you weak fucks, watch as they win.